Yo, what's up, gentlemen? So, another video today from the call I did last weekend with some students of mine. And basically, what I'm going to be doing in this video is talking about how to handle group dynamics and how to handle groups and how to get girls home from like a party scenario, like when you're trying to get laid. And that's, you're just doing like night game, nighttime approaching. A lot of really cool stuff in here, a lot of really high value information. So make sure you watch to the end, especially if you're interested in just like getting more dates and meeting more women, taking more women home from the nighttime. It's something that I got very good at over the last 8 years, and I share a lot of my knowledge here with the guys on this call. So enjoy.
I'd say like one of my main thing would probably be like my main situations that I'll be in the next like year because it's my final year. I'm very busy, but in the next year I'll be going on like a group holiday or whatever to like one of those places in Europe where it's like mainly people after their final year go,
Mhm.
and I want to like how to play that or else like nightclubs and then also college next year.
Yeah. Wait, what's the question?
Like how do I play it like the best?
Oh, well, that's like a pretty broad question. So, like, how do you play it? Like, what do you mean? Like, so is the goal like just to like have sex, like get laid?
Yeah,
Okay. So, I mean, if you're at like in like a party scene, like the best thing to do is just approach a ton of girls. Like, if you're just trying to fuck, like just literally approach a ton of girls, and obviously there's ways to do it. I actually can talk about one specific thing that I think will be very valuable to the rest of the group, where basically this is how like I guess I haven't really shown it on video, but like when I approach a group of girls, I always get the girl I want, and it's like she's like hooked on me in like 2 seconds. I can talk about like kind of how I do that. Because girls are always going to be in groups, so that's really the main thing. Is like if you're at a party place, like a party scene or whatever, like if you're a party in fucking university or at like some party town or a nightclub, whatever, like girls are always in groups. And so you have to learn how to play like the dynamic of the group like really well. And honestly, like, because I can't, I mean, I don't think I have time to like get into like a whole fucking thing on like how to master group dynamics. But if I was going to say one thing, it's that group dynamics matter way more when you want to get laid at like a nightclub or like a party type venue than even your game. Like, genuinely, if you want to get laid, like just get in a room alone with a girl. That's just what happens. Like if you put a guy and a girl in a room alone in the dark for long enough, they're gonna fuck. Like, and that's just gonna happen. I mean, unless the guy's like super fucking weird, right? Like unless the guy completely fucks it up. So that's like the most important thing to know, like going into this. It's more about like getting the girl attracted enough to fuck you and then making it like okay. Like just focusing on like making it like socially acceptable for her to go home with you. And like in her group, like making everything like make sense. That's a lot more what it's like. So I'll talk about like basically how I handle groups. So this is what I do. Say it's a group of like, I mean, a group of two girls is a little different because then you're just kind of talking to two people. It's not really, it's not really that big of a deal. But as soon as it gets to like three or four, and even when it is two, but as soon as it gets in like higher numbers, this is what you want to do. You go into the group, you address the entire group, and you like approach them and you're like, hey, what's up? You guys look fun. And then, or like you guys look interesting, whatever. And then you literally find the girl that's or the whoever it is who is like the friendliest, and you go, oh my god, you're gonna be my best friend, you're my best friend, I like you, you're awesome, and you like give her a hug, you like are like you're awesome. And then you start like kind of, it's called like a cold read and pickup, but you can just call it like assumptions. You just make an assumption about everyone in the group, about like their role in the group. This is like one of the best things you can possibly do is like, okay, you're the nice one, you're the sweet one, you're the mom, like point at like another girl, you're this guy, you're that girl, like you're this type of girl in the group, blah blah blah. Then you just find the girl you like and you go, you're trouble, and then you move on immediately. You just move on completely. But you call the girl that you want like trouble, or you're the troublemaker, you're the naughty one, you're the whatever, like you're the bad one. I can tell. And like no explanation, you don't need to explain it. Like, and she's gonna 9 times out of 10, if she's even remotely attracted to you, she'll be like, huh, what? What do you mean? And then she's like so reactive, like right away. Happens every fucking time. And then, and even if it's like more subtle, like she's really hot maybe, and she's like more chill, then she might be like, oh, what do you mean by that? I'm like, oh, I don't know, you know, you look kind of, I don't know, you look a little bit like trouble. Anyway, and then you move on and you like keep talking to the rest of the group. And so you just talk about like basically just getting info, right? So like, what are you guys doing here? How do you guys know each other? Blah, blah, blah. Try to figure out like how they know each other. Cause like if the guy in the group is like friends with the hot girl, then like you got to make sure that like you're chill with that guy, because he's definitely trying to fuck her. So like you got to make sure that you guys are chill. You guys are on good terms. And like almost be like overly nice to those guys. The guys that are like trying to fuck your girl, like you gotta be like overly nice to those guys, because then if they're an asshole to you and they try to fuck you like out of the group, then they just look like fucking dicks, right? They just look like they're fucking assholes. So you want to be like super nice to the guys that are like orbiting the girl you like. And yeah, so that's kind of how I handle groups on like opening. Eventually, once you're like talking to the girl you like and you guys are vibing, because I don't want to give you like none of this shit, like scripts and stuff, none of that, like actually, like I don't think like that. No one that's actually good at game thinks like that. Like you can't just like run a script. But at some point after you've been vibing with the girl that you like, so say you're talking to the whole group, and then eventually she's like, wait, what did you mean by I'm trouble or whatever? Maybe you tease her one more time, and then she kind of hooks onto you and she's like talking to you and you're just talking to her. Then you guys can kind of vibe a little bit after you've gotten to the point where you're kind of vibing with the girl you like. This is important whether she's in a group or not. You want to move around. So this is like another thing that's like, I mean, it is helpful during the day, but honestly, the thing that's the most important is that that you move around like at night. So like, for example, there was one night where I met this girl at the bar. We went and I met her friends, and then we went outside, and then we went back to her friends, to the dance floor, and then back to the table, and then back to the bar, and then back to the dance floor. Moved like 8 times. And I basically at that point, because I had moved around with the girl so much, like one, it felt like we had been hanging out all night, which we kind of had, but like it felt like we'd been hanging out for a long time. So she's really comfortable with me because we moved around a lot. She's also like, her friends trust me because I've moved around with her quite a bit. I've spent a lot of time with her, and she's also gone to the bathroom with her friends and probably talked like, oh my God, like this guy's cool or whatever. And then at the end of the night, it's just, it was super easy. So like for this example, like I was talking, you know, I was kind of talking to this girl. I kissed her like once or twice. Like I don't actually go crazy in the club. Like you really shouldn't. Like there's no need to like make out with chicks unless you just want to have fun. There's no reason to like make out with chicks like crazy and stuff. I'd like kissed her a couple times, and then at the end of the night, it was like everyone in that group, and I was like the outsider. I went out alone. Like I literally just went out by myself, and I was like, you know, technically the outsider of their group, but everyone's just standing around like, what the fuck do we do? I'm like, all right, hey, let's get food. And so I'm immediately like, now because I've moved around so much and like I've made sure that like I actively met the friends, and like even when I met the friends, I was like, yo, this girl, like your friend like kidnapped me, she like is in love with me, shit like that. I like set like a really solid frame. And then at the end of the night, I'm just like, hey, let's all grab food. And so I just picked a place that was close to my place. And then I said that I would drive my girl I was talking to, and then the other ones could get a ride from someone that they were friends with or whatever. And it just happened to work out. And then they got to the restaurant, it was closed. And so I was like, oh, all right, well, okay. So I was like driving to the restaurant with my girl, and then she texted, or she like said that her friend texted that it was closed. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we're actually like right by my place. Do you want to just go watch a movie? And then it's like, yeah, sure. It's like, okay, cool. And then good things happen, right? So that's like, those are some examples. hopefully that like answers your question as far as like how to handle stuff at night. There's like a lot of good shit in there of like how to handle nighttime interactions. But I think the most important thing that I would latch onto is just that, like, trust me, sex will happen. Like, you'll get laid. Like, if you go out enough and you are social and you talk to people and you put yourself in positions where you're likely to like be in a room alone with a girl, like she's gonna like some girl's gonna suck your dick, some girl's gonna fuck you, like it's gonna happen at some point. Because like girls are horny. So like they want to fuck too. So that would be like, that's my main advice is like, don't underestimate like how powerful, like there's like I forget who it was. It was like one of my first coaches it was like the only coach that I actually paid like thousands of dollars for coaching. And he had this concept called like the last dick standing. Like literally like at the end of the night, if you just are the last dude, like she'll fuck you. Like if she like went out trying to fuck, right? Like I've had that happen like multiple times. I've like slept with like very attractive women just because like I didn't fuck up the whole night and I just stayed chill. Which like, I don't know. You don't want to like stay out till 5 a.m. and do like degenerate shit like all the time. But like when you're young, like I feel like it's important to have those experiences. So